White House calls and says, listen, you're going to be in Washington tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can have 15 minutes of the president's time. So you say, sure. The White House called this morning, which is A, amazing, and B, kind of cool.
I got a call from the White House.
I walked in and she was on the phone and she scribbled, "President."
We could interview the president tomorrow in DC, in the Oval Office.
This literally, I think, just came out of the blue.
And so to your question of what's happening around here today is pandemonium. Because when the president calls, there's a whole lot that has to happen.
It seems like a good place to start is back to unemployment, which is where what you talked about in 2012, sort of highlighting the differences between the numbers then and now.
Everybody has an opinion on what you want to talk to them about, right? The problem is that a 15-minute interview is plus or minus 7 questions, right? You don't get a retake, you don't get to do it all over again, you don't get to say, hang on, Mr. President, that's not what I meant, right? You got to roll with it. So if you blow a question, as I did last time with the president, that's 3 minutes. So what happens is everybody's thinking about what to ask him. My job now is to just sit back, let the editors and producers and reporters who know their subject matter areas think about what the most important questions I can ask are, and then Sitara and I will digest what we're going to spend our 15 minutes on.
I did actually push on the phone this morning for 20. Sitara was like, "Yay, you go, Deb," but it didn't work, so.
Yeah, I think that sounds good, and I'm glad you guys called us. I think that lines up almost exactly with what we want to talk to the president about. I think the quick list right now goes unemployment, what Washington can do to help the economy, and the short answer is 0, and this is the one I'm going to push back with him on, because he's going to say, well, we have to, generate spirit among Americans, and I'm going to be like, come on, really? We're going to ask probably about immigration, we will ask about regulation, we will ask about why regular people, like this woman he went to talk to in Minnesota the other day, are feeling such a squeeze when the stock market's at 17,000, corporate profits are high, and there's a great, huge wealth and income gap in this country. How does that continue? How is that tenable? Los Angeles, I'm Kyle Ryssdal. Great to have you here on this Tuesday.
So the people who are part of the regular economy who aren't on Wall Street, they're just people living their lives and doing what they do. Their voices, I think, really matter in an interview like this, because the parts of the economy that seem really, really good on paper don't necessarily feel that way to them.
I am going home
Okay.
to pack. All I need is a suit and tie, right?
That is all you need. I'm nervous about making sure everything goes okay, and nervous about making sure that we have that we sort of get it right. And excited. It's exciting.
Kai doesn't get nervous. He is calm, cool, always. My only regret, it is not a concern, my only regret is that I am not going.
If you had told me 10 years ago, when I started in radio, that this is where I and this program would wind up, I'm tempted to say, sure, I would have thought that, but the answer is no, not really. There's a lot of competition in the public radio space, and it's, I think, a real testament to us that the president now has called us twice. I think it's great. Mr. President, good to have you with us. Great to be here. Last time we had you on the show, sir, March of 2012.